In One Piece Chapter 1001, there were some things revealed. And I'm not going to harp on Kaido's top 5, but what I want to hone in on is who Luffy was compared to. Kaido, after Red Rock, went into a flashback of his own. He started thinking of things from the past, and Luffy, I think for a slight moment, probably terrified him because of Luffy's possible ceiling. But we're not talking about Luffy's ceiling today. What I want to talk about is whether or not Luffy's a great pirate already. Now, obviously, based on Kaido's comparisons, that started to make me think about this a bit more, because Kaido compared Luffy to the likes of Rocks, who again, a great pirate who subjugated some of the strongest current pirates in the world and past pirates. Gold Roger, obviously the pirate king. Whitebeard, who technically was a pirate king after Gold Roger, but also the world's strongest man. And Odin, one of the greatest pirates from Wano, and again, overall one of the greatest pirates in the story. And last but not least, Red Hair Shanks, one of the current greatest pirates in One Piece as we know. And when you think about Kaido's comparison, you can't help but compare Luffy to these people. But then the question comes up, do we think Luffy's already a great pirate? But also, guys, before we continue, while you're here, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Sometimes you watch a video or 2 or 3 and you don't even realize that you're not subscribed. Now would be the time to do so, and I would greatly appreciate it. Now let's continue. I'm sure you've heard that question before, where it's been thrown around, and the discussion is very riveting because, as we know, Shanks, before parting with Luffy back in the day, gave Luffy his hat. Then he said, "When you become a great pirate in the future, return that hat to me." Ben Beckman then says, "That kid's gonna be big." Shanks says, "I know, because it reminds me of my early years." Now, that is very interesting stuff from Shanks, because immediately I think of what was young Shanks like. We got a glimpse in the flashback of Shanks and his exploits with the Roger crew. Again, there wasn't much to go off of, but based on what we see, Shanks was a pretty useful cabin boy back in the day. Now, Shanks denied Luffy entrance onto his ship, but it makes a lot more sense after getting context, because Shanks himself was a kid on a pirate ship, and I'm sure for him he feels like, you know what, that's probably not the best situation for a kid. So by then giving his arm and betting on the new era, he has cultivated the foundation for Luffy to achieve greatness on his own. But again, has Luffy already achieved greatness? Now, a great pirate, that could be a subjective view based on the individual, but I think we know greatness when we see it. When someone has achieved greatness, there are things that shine through. And I'm talking about the One Piece world. Speaking of greatness, this video is sponsored by Surfshark VPN. Surfshark, which is an award-winning VPN, meaning virtual private network. And even after that, you may still be asking, what is this and why should I care? Well, do you browse the internet? Do you stream? Do you shop online? Then more than likely you're exposed to the worst possible threats, the ones you don't even see coming. A VPN can hide or mask your IP address. This protects your download history as well as country and location, which leads to more secure browsing. A VPN blocks ads, trackers, malware, and even phishing attempts from users trying to steal your information. As streamers of games and shows and frequent users of the internet, it could prevent swatting and possible doxing just by having this software. From bypassing censorship everywhere to finding great prices online via different locations, you can also use one account for unlimited household devices. So to start browsing safely, click the link below, use code B.D.A for 83% off and 3 extra months free. Thinking about everything I just said, are you exposed to the terrors of the internet? If so, use my link below and sign up for Surfshark. One of the main things in regards to the great pirates of the old era and of the new is notoriety. How notorious are these pirates that are considered great? For Gold Roger, it's not very hard to call him a great pirate because he's literally the pirate king, maybe the most famous pirate of all time. More than likely he is. Then we have Whitebeard, the great pirate that battled against Roger for years and then ran the seas after Roger died, lived a very long life, and was respected by Marines and pirates alike. There's no question that Whitebeard is a great pirate. Kaido went from the apprentice on the Rock's ship to becoming a Yonko of the seas, respected by everyone, feared by most. His greatness is not to be questioned. Big Mom and Shanks, very similar for them. And we can't forget Blackbeard, who made his way from relative unknown to one of the greatest pirates currently in One Piece. But with greatness, to achieve notoriety, you must have done things. For Blackbeard and Luffy, we have an idea of what they've done. For the Yonko, it's more so shrouded in mystery. For Whitebeard, we got a gist. For Roger, it's pretty obvious. Blackbeard gets a lot of credit based off of what he pulled off. He stayed on the ship for a long time and showed his resolve, had a goal, accomplished it, left the ship, was chased down by a commander. Luffy has defeated several warlords. Crocodile can attest, Moria can attest, Doflamingo can attest. Luffy has also associated himself with other warlords. Boa Hancock, Jinbei, who he added to his crew. Luffy has also done some very bad things from the world government's perspective. I think the most egregious, based on the reputation of this place, is Luffy invading Impel Down, causing a ruckus, leading to the escape of several level 6 prisoners, and getting out of there alive. So he infiltrated, wreaked havoc, and left unscathed as far as they know. And of course, he gained allies in the process. You may argue Blackbeard did the same thing, but Blackbeard capitalized off of Luffy and the distraction he made to make that seamless for Blackbeard. But again, both of them left with allies from Impel Down. Luffy also challenged the world government by directly burning their flag. Luffy also attended the War of the Best as a rookie and showed out and in a way led the rallying cry after it seemed like the war was lost. Luffy freed Ace. Luffy accomplished great things at Marineford and gained recognition. This is not a clear defining factor, but I think also having Conqueror's Haki does aid to your greatness. I'm not gonna say Conqueror's Haki automatically equals greatness. However, from what we know, the pirates who have Conqueror's Haki are normally pretty damn great. And typically that's what Rayleigh said, the more you grow, the greater you are, the more your Conqueror's Haki grows. So, you know, it kind of goes hand in hand. All these things were done, even to the point of Luffy escaping Big Mom's territory, a Yonko's territory, where Blackbeard said he wasn't ready yet, and Shanks said we will meet soon. So what was holding Luffy back? In a way, I think that's Oda telling us that Shanks is saying, we're close, but not there yet. Some said that Shanks is saying, you know what? We're gonna meet soon because you're ready. I'm obviously on the side of Shanks saying, almost there. One thing we know, Shanks, again, he's been around for a while, even though he's very young. We really don't know how Shanks got his title or his recognition. We know partly it's because of Mihawk, but how did he achieve that Yonko title? I'm sure Shanks knows of newspaper propaganda. Could Shanks see through some of the BS that Morgan's put in the newspaper? Whereas back in the day, Roger went to Big Mom's territory, got what he needed, and dipped out. Is Shanks waiting for the headline to be Luffy defeats X Yonko for him to say Luffy's a great pirate? I think there's only so much you can gauge from a distance. And I think looking at Luffy and the headlines he's made and his bounty increases from what's been shown, it gives Shanks an idea of where Luffy is. I think invading Whole Cake Island and leaving was a huge thing, huge recognition for Luffy, but you gotta take it with a grain of salt because again, it could be propaganda by Big News. I think Shanks understands, okay, if he made it that far, to the point that he can go into Big Mom's territory and leave alive, that tells me a lot about this kid. That tells me a lot about where Luffy currently is, to the point that I know we're going to meet soon. And again, he can also probably gauge it based off of Luffy going after Big Mom. If Luffy's going after Big Mom, obviously Kaido's next, then more than likely me or Blackbeard. So through process of elimination, but that's Shanks' perspective. We can see Big Mom still doesn't respect Luffy, Blackbeard still doesn't, Kaido obviously doesn't. What does he have to do to be recognized as a great pirate? I think to officially be confirmed a great pirate, from the perspective of Shanks, Luffy would have to walk out of Wano the victor in this battle versus the two Yonko. When Luffy gets out of this alive with his crew and new crew members, Luffy will, from the perspective of the Yonko, you would have no choice but to respect him. You would have to, no doubt, consider him your peer. Now, like I said, that was from the perspective of the Yonko. I think as a viewer, knowing what we know about Luffy, the things that Luffy hasn't gotten credit for, the territories Luffy doesn't get credit for, the places he has liberated, how much he's accomplished in a short amount of time, there's no question in my mind that Luffy's already a great pirate. I think from the story's perspective, he's really close. He's on the cusp. And some may already consider him a great pirate. Luffy has done a lot. He's accomplished a lot more than some veterans that's been on the seas for decades. That alone shows the greatness. And Kaido confirms that in the recent chapter talking about his possible ceiling. Now that's something we're not going to get into today in regards to just how strong Luffy can be, which I think is a very important discussion to have. But for right now, to me, Luffy's already a great pirate. He's there. When you think of greatness, you cannot leave out Monkey D. Luffy. And I think the world is starting to catch up to what we already knew. And the Yonko, they'll come around. It's gonna take probably a few more red rocks and some new things. But Luffy, in my opinion, no question, already a great pirate. But guys, give me your thoughts. What do you think? Is Luffy already a great pirate? Does he have to accomplish a bit more? Do you trust Shanks' assessment of this? Let me know. Make sure to like the video if you did. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter at BroggoDAce. Follow me on Instagram at Brogdy.ace. Thank you to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Guys, make sure to like and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
I start doubting me, I felt lost. I rewrite it.